U.S. closes Jerusalem consulate, demoting Palestinian mission. From cautious hope to worries about Brexit's effect on the economy, Belgians share their opinions. Sunny. Mild. The U.S. has officially shuttered its consulate in Jerusalem, downgrading the status of its main diplomatic mission to the Palestinians by folding it into the U.S. Embassy to Israel. For decades, the consulate functioned as a de facto embassy to the Palestinians. Now, the symbolic shift hands authority over U.S. diplomatic channels with the West Bank and Gaza to Ambassador David Friedman, a longtime supporter and fundraiser for the West Bank settler movement and fierce critic of the Palestinian leadership. The announcement from the State Department came early Monday in Jerusalem, the merger effective that day. When first announced by U.S. Secretary Mike Pompeo in October, the move infuriated Palestinians, fueling their suspicions that the U.S. was recognizing Israeli control over East Jerusalem and the West Bank, territories that Palestinians seek for a future state. Palestinian official Saeb Erekat called the move The downgrade is just the latest in a string of divisive decisions by the Trump administration that have backed Israel and alienated the Palestinians, who say they have lost faith in the U.S. administration's role as a neutral arbiter in peace process. Last year, the U.S. recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and relocated its embassy there, upending U.S. policy toward one of the most explosive issues of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The administration also has slashed hundreds of millions of dollars in humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, including assistance to hospitals and peace-building programs. It has cut funding to the UN agency that provides aid to Palestinians classified as refugees. In 2018, the Trump administration has cited the reluctance of Palestinian leaders to enter peace negotiations with Israel as the reason for such punitive measures, although the U.S. has yet to present its much-anticipated but still mysterious deal. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, announced last month that the U.S. would unveil the deal after Israeli elections in April. The Palestinian on Twitter. 24.com encourages commentary. Contributions of a handy guide that will teach you the basics of when to pay more. Stronger oil brings fuel price hike in March, according to the AA. The Beckhams will be celebrating 20 years of marriage this year. Plus how to love your solo life. Toll fees across South Africa will increase again on March 1st. Explore Pond Island with Virgin at 4x4 adventures with beach lodge and hotel accommodation. Start making space in your cellar for a new varietal. Cape Town Network Financer 950,000 R1000000000 per year. Cape Town Northern Suburbs High-Tech Recruitment Johannesburg. Cape Town Network Finance Professional / Prudential R310000 R36000000 per year. Creating your profile will enable you to submit photos and stories to get published on NEWS24. This username must be unique, cannot be edited and will be used in the URL to your profile page across the entire 24.com network.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.